Hey guys, just wanted to share with you today a company by the name of Jase Medical. In the off-grid world, there's a lot of preparedness. Most people want to be self-sufficient, self-sustainable. One part of that is being independent of the grid, having an off-grid location, something to get away and be more independent. Jase Medical is helping us become more independent of worries in case of an emergency for antibiotics. So another thing to be independent would be to work with a company like Jase Medical, which is supported by and founded by board-certified medical physicians. This is a totally legal company. They have offered us with a service of being able to get an emergency supply of antibiotics. In today's climate with shortages and supply issues, let's say emergencies, even natural disasters, stuff like that, can cause unforeseen shutdowns, not only because of shortages or supply chain issues, but the world doesn't have to end for there to be issues with supply chains. And I think we've all seen that in the last year or two. There's complications with transportation, weather, natural disaster, things like that could cause a shortage into the supply chain. So to have an emergency supply of, let's say, food, let's say fuel, let's say stuff like that, it only makes sense to also have a supply of medical supplies. We should all have a first aid kit supplied, and Jase Medical is the antibiotic version of that. They provide you with 5 different antibiotics that can help you in various situations. This is not a system to replace your primary physician. This is more of an emergency type situation to have one of these on hand in case there are supply issues, in case there are shortages in the future. We all know that pretty much I think all of the antibiotics come from overseas. So if there becomes a shortage on antibiotics, you're good to go. In order to get your Jase case, you do have to have a consultation with a doctor. You have to talk to a board-certified medical physician in order to get this antibiotic kit. It's not a complicated process. It took us less than 10 to 15 minutes. We filled out a survey. You have to provide information to if you have any allergies to any medicines. We had to send them proof of our identity through the forms, just like if you went and sat down in a doctor's office and talk to them, but it's all over the internet. Like I said, you have to have proof of your identity so they can write you a prescription. Still go to your primary physician. Still, if you have an issue, go to your doctor. This is kind of gauged toward the preparedness world. It kind of correlates with off-grid. We're trying to be more self-sustainable and trying to be self-sufficient, independent, and this lines up pretty good with that community also. All right, guys, so let's get into the Jase case here, the Jase Medical supplies. I want to show you everything that's in here. After our consultation, we received this package within 4 days. It's going to vary a couple days, obviously, but they're very prompt with getting your supplies to you. So, all right, guys, so your Jase case comes in a package like this. Here's our 5 antibiotics. Here's the prescriptions, the antibiotics, all filled out by a pharmacy in Utah, in my case. So the pack comes with azithromycin. 250 milligram tabs. It comes with metronidazole. I know that's not how you say that, but that's one of the antibiotics. We have the doxycycline. We have amoxiclave. We have ciprofloxacin, Cipro. So these are our 5 antibiotics that could treat a variety of ailments, bacterial infections, of, let's say, bite wounds. Let's say you get injuries in any way. Jen, my wife, is prone to finger injuries and getting poked and cut and stuff like that. So if any of those were to get infected, you can use these antibiotics as a treatment to that. Sometimes you can use it proactively before the infection starts. Not only are you getting the antibiotics to treat any type of infection, bacterial infection, say you get a sinus infection, you could use the proper antibiotic to treat that sinus infection or that infected wound, or things aren't as cleanly around after an emergency situation. You drink some bad water, something like that, and you get an infection in your stomach. There's an antibiotic to treat that. And the typical person like you and I most likely don't know what those are or how to treat that and which medicine to use in that case. Well, they provide you with this nice little guide here. I'm going to set this case down here. They give you this nice little emergency antibiotic guide. For someone like me, a normal guy who's not a doctor, it's going to help me understand which antibiotic to use in which case. So the amoxicillin, the azithromycin, the ciprofloxacin, doxycycline, and then the metronidazole. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. They come in, the amoxicillin comes in 875 milligram tablets. The azithromycin comes in 250 milligram tablets. The Cipro comes in 500 milligram, and the doxycycline comes in 100 milligram. The metronidazole comes in 500 milligrams. Sorry about my pronunciation of some of these. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm simply showing you this case, which is, like I said, the board-certified doctors provided me with this after our consultation. The shelf life on all antibiotics is typically around 1 year. There are studies that show that the antibiotics can still be used safely after the expiration dates up to 10 to 20 years, but doctors don't recommend that. At an emergency aspect, you can only get one Jase Medical kit per person per year. This isn't something where you can stockpile, hundreds and hundreds of tabs, and that's not the purpose for it. The purpose is for emergencies, or if you were unable to get to this stuff. Say a medical system were to get overwhelmed and you can't get to a doctor and you have an infection in your arm from a wound, or you have a bacterial infection from drinking bad water or poor hygiene in a emergency type situation, this could be a lifesaver. Antibiotics have saved millions and millions of lives. Providing a service where we can have easy access, good access to an emergency supply of antibiotics only makes sense to me. So we explained the types of antibiotics that are in here. We have a contents by drugs, not preface, but an index that shows you general ideas of what you could be using the amoxicillin for: bite wounds, pneumonia. Say you get a pneumonia, lung infection, liquid in the lungs, or fluid on the lung. It tells you what page to go to in the index, telling you which antibiotic to use in which situation. If you go farther into the index, contents by condition, let's say you have this sinus infection. It tells you here, go to page 3. So in a sinus infection type situation, it tells you the symptoms, nasal discharge, drainage, stuff like that. If you have an infection and it's bothering you, in an emergency type situation, guys, like I said, still go to your primary care physician. This is not a replacement for going to your primary care physician. This is for an emergency type situation. So it tells you what pill to take and when to take it and how long to take it. So pneumonia, it's hard to tell 100%. So without the aid of chest x-rays or blood tests, you may rely solely on signs and symptoms to help determine if pneumonia is present, such as fever, chest pain, so breathing, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing. This is a emergency type situation, guys. You can't get to a doctor. You are having extreme difficulty breathing or pneumonia, and you can't get to a doctor because of one reason or another. It tells you to use use the amoxicillin, 1 tablet by mouth twice per day for 5 days. This can help knock out that infection in your lungs. It tells you exactly what conditions and what symptoms are, and then what antibiotic can help you feel better and help eliminate those infections. Urinary tract infections, stuff like that. Simple things that shouldn't be difficult to solve. This can help with that. Basic layout here, guys. For the normal person like you and I, most likely you're like a normal guy just like me. This emergency antibiotic guide can tell you which antibiotic to use in which situation, help you tell from your symptoms what troubles you're having, what might be going on with you, and how to solve that issue. So again, the Jase Case is an emergency type situation. We're not replacing our primary care doctor. We're just using this in case of an emergency, supply shortage. You know, natural disasters can cause overwhelming. We've all seen that. The doctors can get overwhelmed and then they just can't see you. Say this guy's near death and you just have lung issues or you have an infection on your arm. You're at the end of the list. So, or if the doctors aren't available at all, or the system isn't available at all, this is your go-to, guys. The Jase Case is for sale for $259 for the peace of mind that it provides you to have an emergency supply of antibiotics. I feel it's well worth the investment. We're going to have some links in the description box below. Use our affiliate link. These Jase Case medical cases are selling quickly and very popular right now, so they're very busy, but they're doing their best to get products out. So if you can contact them, go through the consultation. After you approved for the Jase Case, they will send it out to you promptly. Yeah, we got our Jase Case within 4 days in the mail, delivered right to our door. So no need to go into a doctor, no reason to expose yourself to other people who are sick just to get the Jase Case. Once you're approved and you go through the consultation with the board certified medical physicians, then they will send it right to your door, trouble-free. We were very happy to find this product. We're happy to have it in our off-grid community, being self-sustainable, being independent and off the grid and trying to take care of ourselves, both by even the homesteading community. We all try to be prepared for the unexpected. So having a Jase Case Medical in our backup or in our supplies is a good thing to have, and we're happy to have it. If you guys want to be ready for any emergency needs for antibiotics, I suggest you go check out their website, check our affiliate link out, at least go see what they have to offer. And we appreciate you guys being with us. We appreciate Jace. Thank you very much for sponsoring this video, and thank you for sending us this pack, and we will see you guys in the next one, okay? Thanks, guys.